Okay, hello. I'm back again with another stream. Today I'm playing a game called Astrea, Six-Sided Oracles. This is a game that you can download free on Epic Games instead of Steam. I'm not too sure if you can get it on Steam, but on the Epic Games launcher you can get it for free. Or at least it was free when I downloaded it. It might not be free now, but it was at the time, so. This is a game made by Little Leo Games and Akupara. Akupara? I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Two game devs I've not heard of before this, so that's pretty exciting. And this is actually going to be a dice-based deck builder kind of game. Instead of cards, you use dice, and the whole point of the game is to use dice to use all your moves and all that stuff. It's going to be an RPG game, turn-based. I think it's a roguelike, so there's like runs of this game that last like 40 minutes, and then you restart with new powers and new info and all that stuff. So let's go ahead and jump into it. I have played about an hour or two of this game before I realized I want to stream it. So we possibly might miss the opening cutscene here, but I made sure to delete my save file and all that, so we are going to be starting from scratch. And like I said, I only did play an hour of it, so I don't really know what's going on in the game. I just know the very basics of it. So let's go ahead and jump in here. So we get a immediate choice of some different characters here, but of course we only have one to start out with, named Mooney, the astral disciple. And as you can see, we have the character's name here, character complexity, it looks like, out of 6. We've just got the 1 out of 6 here. Mooney, I think it's oh yeah, her. Mooney's going to be an academic. I've got some lore info here. All this stuff is relating to the lore of the game. Like I said, it's all explained in the cutscene, the opening cutscene. I'm hoping we do get to see it in just a moment, but maybe not. If not, I'll do some explaining, and you'll probably pick up most of what's going on as we play. Well, let's go ahead and start a game as Mooney. We don't get the cutscene. Okay, so by this point, there's supposed to be a whole like 10-minute cutscene explaining the lore to the game. But essentially, there's like a star in the galaxy that has these neighboring planets like any other solar system, and each of these planets kind of worship the star as their god, as their kind of life bringer kind of thing. And at some point, one of the planets gets corrupted with some kind of evil life force, and the other planets have to go and save that corruption, or cleanse that corruption. And the way they do that is by sending out these characters that we play as. So I think each planet has like a certain character that represents it, and I can't quite remember who Mooney or what Mooney represents. But again, we'll pick it up as we go. And so yeah, this is kind of like a pseudo. The story is kind of pseudo-religious in that way. Like it's kind of like, oh, we worship this star, and now we have to go save one of our brother planets because it's corrupted, kind of thing. Like it's not really religious. Like it's not directly Christian or Catholic or anything like that. But you can imagine how it correlates. So yeah, that's that. So after that cutscene, we get our intro into the game, or tutorial, in the Tainted Reef, as they call it, on this corrupted planet. And we get this character saying, "Oh my Astrea, what am I supposed to do?" Oh, I should mention each of these characters have this kind of like mystical power that nobody else has, which is why they're chosen to represent the planet. So they're an oracle, I think. I'm pretty sure they're called. They're all called oracles, and they have this kind of book, and they have like mystical powers that allow them to cleanse the corruption. So this character over here is saying, "Oh my Astrea," and then we say, "What's happening?" "My dear friend got corrupted. There's nothing I can do. I can't save her." "Wait, who are you? What are you doing here? No one comes to this doomed planet." "I'm Mooney. I was called to Aquarius." That's the name of this planet. "I was called to Aquarius by this grimoire," which is this book which has summoned her over here. "A grimoire? Wait, this is one of the six-sided oracles, Astrariums. If you have this grimoire, it means you are one of the new oracles. And you can save her. Here she comes." "What? Oracle?" "Oh, my dear friend, how could I let this happen to you? We gotta purify her fast before she gets stronger. You will need to learn a few things to purify her. But first, let's draw some dice." This is our first look at the UI. This is your dice hand. You need to use these dice to purify your enemies back to normal. Enemies also roll dice, but they roll the same dice each turn. After you play all your actions, enemies will activate the action that they rolled. These are the main actions of our world: Purify for blue, and Corrupt for red. Purify decreases corruption. That means it will damage enemies and heal you. And corruption is the opposite, meaning that it heals enemies and damages you. Note that corrupt actions have a red outline. Actions with a red outline are considered mandatory and need to be played before your end of turn. Therefore, you must play all corrupt actions before you end your turn. And this is the enemy corruption meter. It starts fully filled with corruption, or, enemy health, and you need to purify it to win the battle. You also have a corruption meter, or a purification meter, as you might notice. It's blue instead of red. It starts fully filled with purification. But if your corruption meter gets fully corrupted, you will lose one heart. If you lose all your hearts, you will become corrupted and lose the game. Let's try to purify her. Alright, so that was kind of a lot of things to dump. But essentially, you just get a handful of dice that roll at the beginning of the turn, which is the draw phase. And then we have this phase where it's my turn, and they don't play their dice, and I play mine first. And I was told that we have to play all these red actions before the end of my turn, which is true. So no matter what, I have to either damage myself or heal the enemy. And I'm gonna go ahead and actually heal the enemy because it's already at full health, so it's not really gonna do anything. So that's all the red actions done. So if I really wanted to, I could just end my turn here, but I'm not gonna do that because I can still play these purify actions and do some actual damage, or purification to the enemy. So there we go. And then we can go ahead and end the turn, and then after we end our turn, the other team gets to play their turn. And of course they only have the one dice, or one die, so they have to play that against me. Right-click on this die to view all of its faces. So this die has a chance to either be purification for For 2 points, 4 points, or 3 points, so on and so forth. You can right click on any die to view all of its faces. So you can see here we have an area corrupt tutorial die called a starter class die, and it's got all these similar faces. This one here kind of looks like that first one we looked at, and this one kind of looks like that red one, except it's blue. So already we can start to see all the different kinds of actions we get. Here we get a self-purify action, which looks a bit different than the regular purify, which looks a bit different from the area purify, which looks a bit different from the area corrupt. And that's going to be kind of common throughout the game. As we move through the tutorial here, there's going to be different types of die with different types of actions. And again, all the time there's going to be some red die, and we have to play those red die throughout the game. So let's go ahead and see what this one does. It's called Area Corrupt, deals 1 corruption to all targets. So no matter what we do, we have to heal the enemy by 1 and damage myself by 1. But we also get the Area Purify, which is the same for purification. So we damage the enemy by 1 and heal me by 1. And then we get, we can play a self-purify, so we only heal me and do no damage to the enemy, which I am going to do. And then we can still do a purification to the enemy, which will actually end the fight. Oh, never mind. Got a kind of a second phase thing going on here. Oh no, too late. She's resisting your purification, and she's getting stronger. All enemies have an overcorruption meter. When they receive corruption, they get healed. But if their overcorruption also increases. Once an enemy's overcorruption meter gets fully filled, they will get overcorrupted and activate the action attached to it immediately. I think you will need to use all your Astrea power here to purify her, which are these little symbols on my health bar that just showed up out of nowhere. As one of the 6-sided oracles, you have the power to use corruption in your favor. Attached to your corruption meter are actions called virtues. As your corruption increases and passes a virtue, that virtue is enabled to be played. When enabled, virtues can be played just like dice. These virtues can be enabled multiple times per turn. Now please, purify my dear friend Oracle, you are our only hope. Star Wars style, huh? Okay. So that's an example of what the draw phase looks like. We get a bunch of dice out of our discard pile, and then it goes back into our hand here on the left-hand side. This is our draw pool, and we only have these 4 dice, so that makes sense that we shuffle them all up and re-roll again. But basically what this fish fellow was saying was that as we lower our health, we get access to these powers, which each do certain things a certain amount of times. I can't really show them off yet, but we have a re-roll, which re-rolls up to 2 dice from any target, so I can re-roll the enemy's dice or my dice. We have enemy purify, which only does purification to an enemy and does not heal me, or draw an extra die. So we can't get those yet, but once we lose a little bit of health, we'll be able to show those off. So let's see what we got here. We got some red actions that we have to do, some corrupt actions. And now we know that if we corrupt this enemy, this little meter under their health actually fills up. And if we get that to full, this actually activates. which will hurt me. So if I heal them too much, it will actually hurt me. So I want to avoid that if I can. But this die is telling me that I can only do corruption to myself, so that's kind of good, in a way. So there we go. And now we actually have access to these virtues here, so I can deal purification to the enemy, which I am gonna do. And we've got virtue, which re-rolls 2 dice from any target, which again I am gonna do. It doesn't really look like I'm gonna get anything better from these dice. 2 looks like the highest number on both of them. So I'm just gonna re-roll this die. And there is a chance that I get 3 corruption here instead of 2, but I just want to show off this virtue. So I just grab this die and go ahead and re-roll it. And we got the same outcome, but presumably there are situations where you would get better outcomes for me, so that's pretty helpful. So I'm gonna go ahead and do this, and I see that you know, they're gonna deal some damage to me, so I'm just gonna go ahead and heal myself so I don't die, and then end my turn here. This virtue is different. At the start of your turn, it will automatically be enabled and can only be played once per turn. Alright, so something kind of different happened there. The enemy actually used a self-corrupt die, so they did some corruption to themselves, which actually did some damage to me because they became overcorrupted. So that's something else to look out for too. If they're going to corrupt themselves, you need to make sure that their meter isn't going to overcorrupt, and if it does, you just need to be able to handle it. So, you know, just something to think about. So let's see, we have a reroll again. We have a purify enemy again, and we've got some purify actions and a corrupt action that we have to do. So, and it actually has another self-corrupt die. So I think at some point it's going to become overcorrupt again and hurt me for 3. So I need to heal a little bit. So I'm going to do the area corrupt. Let's see, what is this new virtue that the fish was talking about? Convert 1 die from your hand until the end of the enemy's turn. And converting will change a die with a corrupt action to a purify action. Oh, I could have done that. I should have read that before. Anyways. Convert 1 die from my hand, so I can't convert their die. Okay. I should have read that before I did that play, but that's okay. I'm gonna do an area purify to heal myself. I'm going to... I guess I'll just self-purify, because that's the only thing I can do with that one. And I'll just go ahead and purify the enemy. And as you can see, even though we don't have any dice here, we still have access to our virtues and everything. So if I want to draw 1 more die, I can do that. If I want to do this, I can do that. If I want to re-roll anything, I can do that as well, but I'm not going to do that right now. So I got like a bunch of extra damage out of that. So now I'm going to end my turn. So we got overcorrupted like I thought. We took some damage, but it's no big deal because we still have a good amount of health. I can play my convert corruption virtue, which is true. So if I want to change one of these corrupt actions into a purify action, I just play this virtue and drag the die up here, and it will convert to a purify action of the same type. So we have a self-corrupt action and a area corrupt action. So I'm going to convert the self-corrupt action because I don't want to have to hurt myself if I don't need to. So now I have to heal myself, which is great. And again, we do have this area corrupt one, so I'll probably take some damage at the end of this turn anyways, but that is just fine. And I'm just going to go ahead and end the turn here, because we don't actually have to play every Purify action to end the turn, so that will just go in the discard pile, and we'll see it again soon. Alright, so we have a convert action that we can do. We can do this once per turn, I believe. And that will stay like this until the end of his turn, or her turn, I should say. So, by the time we get this die again, it will probably revert back to fully corrupt die. So let's go ahead and play it. We've got area purify. We've got 3 just regular purify actions. So I'm gonna heal myself. I'm just gonna damage the enemy until they're purified. And there we go. Oh, my Astrea. I was so scared. But you did it. She's back. Oh dear, I got corrupted. Again. But I didn't need your help. I'm sure I would be able to purify myself at any time. You were doomed. You were about to become one of those things forever. You're exaggerating, Safe. How many times have I been corrupted? I've lost count, but here I am, alive and uncorrupted. Don't mind her, she's just old and grumpy. Maisa, you wouldn't believe it. She has a grimoire that belonged to a Noctuan oracle, one of the 6-sided oracles. Say again, how could that be? My brother used to be one of them, which is why I'm here. I don't know, this grimoire has been protected from my family for many generations. I feel it is calling to the Astrea's heart, the source of all corruption. So you know what to do. You need to go to where the Crimson Dawn happened. Oh, where are my manners? My name is Maisa, the antiquarian. And this little sentinel here is Safe, or Saif, the bellkeeper. We will help you along your journey. If you bring us star shards, we can use them to improve your resources. May Astrea bless you. Thanks, Mooney. Good luck on your journey. And that was our tutorial. And from now on, the game kind of just throws you in, and it will explain new mechanics as we get to them, but it will kind of expect you to just pick things up as on the way. So I'll probably stop talking and over-explaining things as much as I can, but there are going to be some new die symbols and some new mechanics that probably won't be explained fully. So, we'll see how it goes. In the meantime, I do have my usual sparkling water, and I have Coca-Cola with me for some caffeine. It's orange cream flavored. So. Just gonna open these real quick. Alright. So as you can see, besides all this cool art that's in the game, all this cool patterning that's on the enemies, and the cool glowy blue stuff, and this cool nebula down here for the discard pile and whatnot, we have our We have some new stuff in the UI. We have our settings. We have star shards, which we just got told that we can use to improve our resources somehow. We have our map, which is what we just saw. We have sentinels, which we do not have yet, but we will get there later. And we have our dice pool, which is just going to be the dice that we get at the beginning of each turn. And it looks like we get 4 dice at the beginning of each turn. Sorry about that. My microphone disconnected for a minute. All right, let's go ahead and finish this up. Oh, I'm getting a phone call. My bad. Apologies. My mom was calling me about something. Anyways, let's finish this up, and then I'll cut this up and call it episode 1. Alright, so what do we have here? We've got our 4 dice, we've got our virtues, our convert, which we can use, I think, right from the beginning, but we just don't have any dice to convert, so that's that. We've got our enemy dice, you've got a self-corrupt dice, and you have a regular corrupt action split with what looks like it says player shadow mantle, which means it will apply 2 shadow mantle to me or Mooney, and the shadow mantle will block that amount of purification until the end of my turn. So we'll see that in just a minute. We have area purify, which I'm going to use right away. We have purify split with a light shield. And light shield is going to be the opposite of the shadow mantle. So if I want to play this on you, then anything that hits you for corruption is going to be blocked, so you won't get that health back. We're going to purify, and we're going to... Oh, here we go. This one's a little bit different. Reroll 1 die from any target, and if you reroll at least 1 die, then you heal for 1 point. And I'm just gonna go ahead and end my turn here because I don't really want to reroll any of these. Actually, I'm gonna reroll this because if this does 4 corruption to itself, then it's gonna activate its ability, and I don't really want that. And we got the same outcome anyways. Whatever. That's alright. Yeah, that's what I thought was gonna happen. Alright. So now we have a shadow mantle. So if I try to heal myself, I have to heal myself for at least 3 points because the first 2 will be blocked by the Shadow Mantle. So let's see, I've got Enhance, which is new, Purify, which is the same, Enhance again, and another Light Shield and Purify. I'm just going to do that on myself. Enhance, what does this do? Enhance 1 die from any target until the end of the enemy's turn. Change the value of a die with any type of Purify action to 6. So actually, it's perfect for me because I can enhance that and then play this on myself. And I'll heal for all my health, even though I had that Shadow Mantle. And I could do this again, but I don't have any more dice to enhance, so that's kind of useless. But I do have this Virtue I can play on you, or anybody for that matter, but I'm just going to focus on this mollusk looking thing. What is it called? Crystallized Swirl, yeah. And I could re-roll some dice, but I don't really want to do that. But I do want to draw a dice from my pool, so I'm going to do that. And that's actually perfect, because I can enhance this, and play it, and get you almost purified. Alright, so we get a chance to purify this one right out of the gate. We get to enhance any purify action, and we can convert this one, which is what I am going to do. I'm gonna deal some damage to you. I'm gonna convert this to a purify action. I'm gonna heal myself. I'm going to enhance the area damage. That way, I can play this and purify everybody at the same time and heal myself. And there you go. And we get some rewards out of that. We get some star shards, and we get some extra dice to put in our dice pool. So we get a choice of 2 dice, and this first one is going to be a choice between these 3. So we get a choice between a safe dice, or safe die, a balanced die, and a risky die. These other modifiers aren't really important to us now, but they do mean stuff. So we get a Purify die, which has all Purify on every side. Purify Plus, which has higher Purify actions, but we do get some Corrupt actions as well. And we have Purify Plus Plus, which has the highest Purify actions, but it also has more Corrupt actions. And I'm gonna go with the balanced one, because even though this is nice, I feel like it's pretty rare that you get the 11 or the 12. At least in that hour that I said I was playing. So I'm going to go with the balanced option. And then for our second die, we get some more complicated dice, it looks like. So we can get Convert, Twilight Sigil, or Manipulate. And Convert is going to be a die that has all convert sides. So we can convert up to 2 dice with this one. Twilight Sigil, which says it applies 3 Twilight Sigil to any target. Creatures with this buff receive that much purification whenever a die is converted. Which is kind of confusing, but basically if I play this on an enemy, that enemy will have 3 Twilight Sigil. And anytime I convert a die, like if I were to use this one, then that enemy will take damage. And then I could deal more damage later once I actually play that die. So it's pretty much just extra damage, which is pretty nice. Or Manipulate. Convert 1 die from any target until the end of the enemy's turn. Okay. Or convert up to 2 dice. Or I get a bunch of corrupt actions, which are actually kind of bad. I get some self-corrupt and some area corrupt, which I actually don't really want at all. I'm gonna go with the convert one, because this is just a guaranteed avoiding of corrupt actions from my hand, so that seems pretty nice. Alright, yeah, like I said, this is gonna be some kind of just throwing a bunch of stuff at you and expecting you to read and understand what's going on, so that's gonna be the first battle of the game and the tutorial. I'm gonna call that episode 1. And then as the stream continues, of course, we're gonna move up this this tree here, this map, until we get to this final boss. We've got some battles, we got some rewards, we got some dice rewards and all that stuff. So keep tuned if you want to see all that and you're interested in the game. And like I said, I got this for free. I don't know if it was like a promotion or if it's free forever, but go ahead and check it out on the Epic Games Store. It's pretty fun. Yeah, I'll see you tomorrow.